I've been playing disc golf for 8 years now, so I've come across a lot of disc golfers of all different types. And I want to start off this video by saying I love disc golfers. Now don't get me wrong, I really fucking hate disc golfers. But it's that perfect love-hate that brings joy to my life and great sex in the bed. When I was 17, I made this really cringy video called Types of Disc Golfers, and for some reason, it got a lot of views. So of course, I made a few more. Now that some time has passed, I want to revisit this concept, except take away all the parts that make me want to scratch my eyes out. Here are some of the most common disc golfers I know we've all seen on the course somewhere. Gotta kick it off with everyone's favorite asshole. You know, the douchebag that's blaring their speakers as loud as it could possibly go. That dude. But yeah, that was definitely me like 2 years ago. Back in college, every single day I would leave work so pissed off with the world that I didn't care about inconveniencing other people. Or, as I like to assume, they could enjoy some tunes while I tried to annoy the ultimate frisbee team during their practice. Hey, they started it by claiming their sport was cooler, which always felt strange to me because we throw fucking frisbees. It's not that big of a deal, but for some reason at my university, the frolfers and the guys who wore too short shorts had a forever going feud. I'm glad I realized I was being annoying and made the investment into a solid pair of headphones. But I already know those lid lickers are the same pricks like I left. But for the love of disc golf Jesus, people, the only appropriate time to have a speaker is when you're with a group or Baby Keem drops a new album. I will say it is way more frustrating to have to yell 8 times over for a simple question to someone on the card because they decided to blare their Taylor Swift in their AirPods too loud. I could get down for some love story, but other than that, keep it for the sad car ride home. Honestly, I don't know which is worse. You'll have to let me know in the comments below. Either way, knock it off, people. Just like the one guy who has all the excuses after every bad shot. No, Greg, I don't care that in your crazy mind you believe the ladybug on the end of the tee messed up your drive. I've heard some of the wild excuses when it comes to bad drives. I mean, look at Nick over here. All love, of course, to the gem. The reason that I even met Nick, well, I'll tell that story in my next road trip video. But he was the classic tour guide. I'm not sure if you've experienced it or not, but you most definitely should next time you're playing a top course out of state. This is the type of person that takes it upon themselves to not only play alongside you, but every hole in great detail discuss anything and everything about it. And when I say everything, I mean absolutely everything. They'll tell you the type of leaf on the trees if you let them. But I will say you do have to respect these people because the only reason they take this unappointed role is they have or had some sort of impact with the course. From being the designer or even just the course that they grew up playing. If you don't care what the hell they are saying or notice they are going above and beyond what you might have originally suspected when letting a stranger play with you, and even if you don't care, you have to pretend for their sake. It's not often disc golfers get to nerd out about disc golf to other disc golfers, especially when there's an opportunity to tell an old story that isn't told anymore because everyone's heard it a million times. I refuse to let disc golf memories die. I don't know how many times I've said I'm playing for the first time on my local course just to experience a different perspective on something I may have thought was just some old disc golf course. If you haven't had the chance to experience a tour guide, go to your local course at about 8 a.m. and you'll find them. Or you'll just run into the old geezer. You know, the one that probably bags a meteor or a comet, possibly a rock if you're stuck in an Innova town. These guys may look fragile, yet will play more holes than anyone half their age. Now how good they'll play, that's a different story, but that's not what disc golf's all about. I have some locals that play from sun up to sun down that literally wrap their bodies in duct tape just to keep it together, which could be said about their clothes too. Some weird attachment issues that I don't get because I see you get new discs like every week. Don't you love those disc golfers that have to buy whatever is new? You can guarantee that they'll get whatever is supposed to be hot, but don't ask them any questions because they won't be able to tell you, besides the name of course. Can't let down the flex. I mean, it's the reason they bought the disc after all. Then they just have to wait for their favorite YouTuber to give them all the talking points. Or they're buying a disc for a more devious reason. You know, those people out there buying them just to flip online. I don't care if you buy discs to throw, but to seriously only get them for some small monetary value? What have we gotten into? I've seen the Discraft lines. You fanboys are insane. You do know the stamp has nothing to do with how the disc flies. And don't tell me the 93rd different plastic type they put out actually fooled you. I'm still unsure how I feel about the people that buy discs just to keep. On one hand, I understand that there are certain molds that people love and they want to have backups just in case. I can't argue that. it makes complete sense. And I guess I can understand those that like collectibles. Personally, I'm not about it, but everyone has their thing. But man, on the other hand, you have people that are sitting on all this plastic just to one day make a profit. So many frisbees trapped inside closets, basements, trunks, or whatever else prison they're shoved off to. Discs were made to fly, not be hidden from the course. It's cruel what some of you do, but like I said, my mind is still unsure. All I know is the collectibles people are the same that get mad when you call their action figures dolls, so their opinions matter little to me. Kinda like Sandbag Sammy. Or at least that's what I call my buddy who only throws one company. It doesn't even matter what company these people choose. If they aren't paying you, why limit yourself? Don't sell out. At least not for free. One of the many beauties of disc golf is the ability to do whatever the you want, which is one of the main reasons I love this game, or as I call it, lifestyle. And only picking one brand wastes so much potential. No one is telling you to buy a shit ton of discs. You can still have a simple bag without being a cuck to one company. Unless you're into that, I guess. I try not to kink shame. You do you, but for some reason, these people's hands always seem to be sticky, which is weird because I can say the same as people who just throw dynamic, which if that's you, stop. Like, immediately. Nothing leaves a worse taste in my mouth. Well, maybe besides the people that throw their putting putter. That actually might be the grossest thing of all time. And Swiss Cheese really had the nerve yesterday on the course to ask to throw my putter. What does it look like? I bag a glitch or something? No, I'm not that dumb. If we're playing around and I see you throw your putter, I might instantly throw up. Not as an insult, rather just a reaction I'll have. I wish I could help it. So I guess the only solution would be for everyone to just knock it off. Kind of like the rule guy. You know the one I'm talking about. The guy trying to tell you not to drink a beer at the local C tier. Yeah, that guy. Or the one that makes you walk out every jump putt. At least just let me rangefinder it. Damn. And that was just for the joke. I don't have a rangefinder. That's almost as much of a waste of money as getting a disc retriever. You know why I say that? Because the fucking rule guy has each of them in their bag with an additional 6 in their trunk at the ready. Only reason I know that is because they try to sell me one every round. I'll just keep jumping in the water until I get some flesh-eating bacteria or something. And that's a story for another day. Or I can just tell it next time Cupcake is putting. One of the most common disc golfers is the one that takes way too long to putt. Honestly, I don't know what the hell is going on in their head, but I can't imagine good things. I've never called someone on a time violation and never will, but I have been there when it's happened, and it was not a friendly encounter. I've yet to see someone get punched in the face in the disc golf course, but I was just a tree away. Best part? This was just a casual round. Well, as casual as $5 a hole can be, but of course that's a typical Tuesday out here. That's almost as good of a story about the time I heard my friend was called out on a courtesy violation during his first ever tournament, which typically would be surprising, but not for this dude. He's a talker. Actually, I would have been surprised if he didn't get one. But what made it wild was he was called out by his own teammate. That's gotta be a new low. I'm talking as low as putting with a Berg, which also happens to be way too common. Why is there a small percentage of disc golfers that think this disc is worth bagging? Part of me doesn't even want to call these people disc golfers, because once you're infected by the Church of Berg, it's over. Then every throw they'll say something like, a Berg would have been better, or should have used my Berg. Almost as annoying as hearing fairway when you smack first available. I know it sounds like I've just been hating, but I love all disc golfers. I truly do. I treat every league night as Christmas morning because it's an opportunity to be around such different people, all interesting in their own ways. And I want to emphasize interesting. Some people would say weird, but that word has some negative connotation because as different as an individual might be, I have yet to meet a disc golfer I didn't like, which is why I want to try this video, because discs are only half of the sport. The people are what makes it amazing. That's why I've devoted so much of my life to this shit, because there's literally nothing in the world better than the disc golf community, and I'm proven right every single round. I'm staying on the property of a disc golfer I met a couple of days ago on the course. Where else in 2024 does that sound like something anyone should do? It might be that disc golfers are still in the generation of when the game first started, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing I've ever seen that comes close to our community. Yet no one showcases it. So hopefully I can do a little bit of that here. I mean, we all know the collectors, tryhard, same-bag Sammys, and so many more types of disc golfers. Just because they piss us off doesn't mean at the end of the day I wouldn't do anything for my disc golf homies. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like so I can keep making more. Funny enough, this is actually how I started making videos almost 7 years ago with my original types of disc golfers videos. I stumbled upon that and reflected on why I started playing disc golf and how it's the same reason I continue to play to this day. When you feel like there isn't a place for you to fit in, there's a course somewhere out there waiting for you. And 9 times out of 10, there's a family there ready to bring you in with open arms. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Oh yeah, and if you want to hear about the time I played Paul McBeth's secret disc golf course, check out the video right here.